Speaking of results, Michael Vaughan, what about your boys? Couldn't even knock over the Kiwis, even though they're ranked #1 in the world. I mean, you guys are under some serious heat, I reckon, coming out this summer, Vaughan.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be dead honest about it. You muck around with your test team, which England have done, rotation, went 1-0 up in India, beat Sri Lanka 2-0, beat Pakistan, West Indies, South Africa last year. They went to India, win the first test brilliantly. Joe Root gets a double century. 3 days later on the same pitch, they rotate the team. I mean, from there on, I honestly think that they've not been able to grab the team back. And once you start swapping and changing and personnel changes every other game, tactically they've got it completely wrong. You go to that day-night game in India, Ahmedabad, where it lasted 2 days. It was an absolute Bunsen burner. They played on the beach. England went with one spinner, 4 seamers. You know, this series against New Zealand has been dry. I know it's surprising for you guys to recognise with that over here, but it was dry for the week leading into that first test at Lords. Played no spinner, exactly the same. Edgbaston didn't play a spinner, and the batting lineup is fragile. It's as simple as that. I mean, Butler, Stokes will come back in Wokes. Yes, they'll improve the team, but unless that batting lineup changes and can learn and understand how to get big scores against good bowling, not against, you know, the second string in Test match standard bowling. I just can't see how they can compete. I mean, it's going to be tough for them to beat India on these shores, but then to go to Australia and think they're going to get 450, 500, I just can't see it unless they make 1 or 2. I'd bring in David Malan. I'd bring Malan back in at #3. You know, apparently he's not popular, but you know what? Who gives a hoot if he scores runs? That's what I like to see in my batters. Someone who can score a few runs. He's got a bit of experience. He played well against you guys in Australia last time. I'd put him at #3. I put Crawley into open. I know that's a bit of fortune for Crawley because he hasn't got so many runs, but I think he can play. And I'd just leave Burns, Crawley, Malan, Root, Stokes, Ollie Pope staying at 6, Butler at 7, Wokes at 8. Will that be a good enough 8 to get big scores? I think it'd be a better chance than the 7 that I saw against New Zealand. They were very, very fragile.
Yeah, I mean, I look at the stats on this England batting lineup. They're all averaging about 30. Burns, 33. Dom Sibley, 30. Zach Crawley, 29. I know he can play. He's got talent. Ollie Pope, 31. Dan Lawrence, 29. Yeah. It's just no quality there. And I don't know why there's no depth in batting in the English lineup. I mean, to me, James Vincent's not a bad player. I know he's played 13 tests, but he's got a touch of class. Yeah. Someone like Dom Sibley, he can't score. You know, you can't come to Australia with Burns and Sibley opening the batting because they can't score. He hasn't got any shots, Dom Sibley. He's not a test player. And quite frankly, I don't know how he got to that level to get picked. There's got to be a shortage of players there.
Warne, what are your thoughts on that? I mean, should they have been aggressive against New Zealand? It just didn't look like it at all.
Just their tactics at the moment too. How they did not go for 270 off 75 overs at Lords was a real shock to me. Not playing a spinner at Edgbaston as well, or Lords, where Edgbaston we know how much turns. This rotation policy, 1 game on, then miss a couple of games. I mean, what is that message are they sending? Oh, you have a rest now and then bring someone else in. Cricket is all about knowing your role. And once you start playing with people, standing in the slips with the same person, batting with the same person, getting to know how people react in certain situations, getting people in the middle of the group to get people going. I think England are really missing a trick. And Dom Sibley, I'm with you, Junior, and Michael Vaughan. I just don't know how he can play Test cricket. And I don't think anyone's spoken about this, is as a bowler, you worry about batsmen that can hurt you. No one's thought of this. The England middle order are suffering because all the bowlers that play against England have got their tail up and confidence up because they're not getting hurt by Burns and Sibley. They can't punish them. They can't hurt them on any level. All they can do is survive and see off the shine. That's no good. You have to put pressure on the bowler, and these two can't do that. Zach Crawley, well, I've heard some people saying, you know, he's out of form and stuff. Yeah, he might be a bit out of touch, but he is a class player. I'm with Vaughan. He's got to open Zach Crawley. He actually has got a good technique. He's a little bit down on form at the moment, but he's a class player and someone that England have to stick with, and he should be opening. Whether who else should come in, and there's so many different names because England have tried them, but no one has grabbed their opportunity. Johnny Bairstow, why isn't Johnny Bairstow playing Test cricket? He's actually performed extremely well. So I look at England, I think they're worried about their tactics. I don't think they're playing aggressive enough cricket. They're so worried about the performances of everyone. They're resting people just in case down the track we need them. Play your best side and play. As we all know that we played, the more you play, the more rhythm you got. And then, yeah, sure, after a bit of time, with a couple of months, 3 months, you might just want a little break for a week or so to tune up, just to freshen up. But this one off, one on, if someone come to me and said, you're not going to play the second test, before the series, not even, let's see what happens, I'd say, stick it. I'm not playing the whole series then. I'm either playing or I'm not. As a bowler, it's all about rhythm. And getting your rhythm as a bowler is about bowling and bowling and bowling and doing that in a test match.